I am Corneliu Chisu, your Conservative candidate for Pickering-Uxbridge. This election is about who has the proven experience to keep our economy strong and Canada safe. We know that beyond our shores, the global economy remains in a state of turmoil. Our Conservative Party and I are ready for the challenge. As Canadians are proud of our country, we are proud of our record. But more importantly, we are looking to the future. Since the end of the global financial crisis, we have the best economic growth, the best job creation record, and the best growth in middle-class incomes among any of the advanced developed nations. We now have a balanced budget with low taxes and increased money in the pocket of Canadians for the things that matter for them, and all-time high transfers for healthcare and education, a massive infrastructure program of over $75 billion in contribution to all manner of provincial, territorial, community, and of course, our own federal infrastructure projects. So what is the choice today, ladies and gentlemen? As Conservatives, we choose lower taxes and balanced budgets. We choose trade, growth, and jobs. We choose to put honest, law-abiding citizens and victims ahead of criminals. We choose to take a strong stand in the world based on our values, based on our interests, based on standing by our friends and standing up against those who threaten them and us. We choose the hard work of continuing to build the best country in the world where Canadians are free to choose their identities, to work hard for their dreams, confident that their families will be safe and their children will have the best possible opportunities in life. This future is taking shape before us, and we will not rest until our job is done. On October 19, I ask for your support so together we can continue to build the best country in the world and the best constituency in Canada, Pickering-Uxbridge.
Hi, I'm Pamela Downward, your NDP candidate for Pickering-Uxbridge. I'm not a career politician. I began my career as an activation coordinator working with senior citizens. After years of improving the lives of our aging population, I decided to go back to school to be an elementary teacher. This election is about change. I see families every day impacted by almost 10 years of Stephen Harper, those who cannot get ahead. Tom Mulcair has the experience to defeat Stephen Harper. Tom's ready for change, and I'm proud to be part of the NDP team. I'm a different kind of leader, raised on middle-class values, like Tom Mulcair. We both know what it's like to juggle work obligations, make ends meet, and build a better life for our families. We're focused on building a stronger middle class and helping families get ahead with affordable childcare, good jobs, retirement security, and protecting our environment for future generations, to name a few. In our riding, we're faced with some important issues where we can make a difference. We must be diligent in protecting our green space and environment while moving forward with progressive changes to our infrastructure. We must ensure that all families have access to affordable daycare. I'm a champion of local business. Part of the NDP's plan is to lower the small business tax rate from 11% to 9%. As well, by partnering with local municipalities, the NDP will strengthen local business infrastructure through investments in roads and bridges to lower commute times, further improving the local business environment. And I'm proud that the NDP has a firm, principled stance against Bill C-51. Canadians are ready for change. On October 19th, let's replace fear and division with hope and optimism. Vote for me, Pamela Downward, your NDP candidate for Pickering-Uxbridge.
Hi, I'm Anthony Navarro, and I'm your Green Party candidate for Pickering-Uxbridge. Don't expect to hear any rhetoric or partisanship from me. I'm just here to let you guys know, and everyone out there, that there is a fourth alternative party out there that cares about you, the constituent. Just to give you a little bit of a background on myself, I'm an open source technology expert, and I decided to run because of 3 fundamental reasons. I would like to stick my neck out there for youth and those who are first-time voters to go out and actually be more engaged with the political system and how it works, and to understand and vote on October 19th and in the advance polls. I'm mostly running for those 3 fundamental reasons of youth, doing something about our health care, doing something about our infrastructure, and a long-term national plan for pharmacare and for seniors, including those who are in poverty and our veterans, with guaranteed livable income. I'm also out there to really emphasize and drive home to our Parliament that we need to do something about science, technology, and innovation. Canada has an innovations problem in every aspect, in every industry. We need to be able to work together with the provinces and territories to make sure we address this and to provide that no longer municipalities get the short end of every funding stick, that we actually provide them with the funding they deserve so that they can actually innovate and create jobs and create prosperity for generations to come. We need to do something about our climate crisis. We need to be number one at COP21 Paris, this upcoming negotiations. We need to do something against TPP and all other things that are against our rights, our freedoms, and our way of life. Vote Green and vote Navarro here in Pickering-Uxbridge to really send a message to Parliament and to say that we're standing up to the status quo and that we're ready to move forward and to make sure that our climate gets its respect along with Parliament that it deserves for generations to come.
Hello, my name is Jennifer O'Connell and I am your federal Liberal candidate for the riding of Pickering-Uxbridge. Pickering has been my home my entire life, and I've been so lucky to be able to serve this community as City Councillor, Regional Councillor, and currently as Deputy Mayor. This race is not only business, but it's personal. Over the past 10 years, I have truly grown to understand this community, its people, its needs, and its problems. And one of those problems is the lack of strong representation in Ottawa these past 10 years. We need real change in Ottawa, and I have often been known as the fighter on Pickering Council, and I want to bring that fight to Ottawa because I believe in this community enough to truly fight for it. I've knocked on your doors, I've heard your concerns, and Pickering is ready for change, Uxbridge is ready for change, and Canada is ready for change. I stand before you today as a proud member of Team Trudeau and the Liberal Party, and I want to bring real change for Pickering-Uxbridge. I have a passion to serve, and I'm deeply invested in our community, so on October 19th, vote Jennifer O'Connell for the Liberal Party in Pickering-Uxbridge. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Chris Alexander, and I'm your Conservative candidate in Ajax in the coming federal election. On October 19th, Canadians will be making an important choice, a choice that matters first and foremost for our economy. In a world of uncertainty, with growth slowing in China, Europe in crisis, many factors beyond our control, we need to keep Canada strong. That's why we're proud as a government to have returned our federal budget to balance 1 year ahead of schedule. That's why we're proud to be returning some of those savings to families, to individuals, to seniors, by lowering taxes to help households in Ajax and across Durham make ends meet. That's why we're also proud to be the party that has brought Canada the most competitive tax regime in our history, the best in the G7 by many, according to many ratings, lower corporate and small business taxes that ensure companies across our region and across the country are able to keep hiring. We know what the other parties would do. They would raise taxes, return us to deficit, and that would hurt our very proud job creation record since 2009, since the worst of the Great Recession. We also need to keep investing in manufacturing, in a hub to make sure we continue attracting the best new advanced manufacturing technologies to Canada, in a one-stop shop for trade and investment to attract international investment to our strong manufacturing sector, and also a demonstration fund to make sure we're supporting the commercialization of new technologies. Canada succeeds when we do these things, when we make ourselves a great country for entrepreneurship, and when we invest in infrastructure. That's why we're proud as a government to have invested in the 407, in the GO system, in recreation centres like the Audley Recreation Centre in Ajax, right next to our Pan Am venues, that has received prizes and is being used so intensely. A Conservative government will keep Canada's economy strong, will show proven leadership on the international stage. I hope we can count on your support on October 19th.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Brown and I am your NDP candidate in Ajax for this federal election. I'm a political science and philosophy student at the University of Toronto's Scarborough campus, and I've also studied international affairs at Fudan University in Shanghai. Before this election, I've worked in a maximum security correctional center, and I've also been an advocate and lobbyist for mental health issues across the country. I joined the NDP and decided to run for office because I am deeply concerned with the direction that Canada is taking. As a young person faced with a future of high debts, environmental degradation, and economic uncertainty, I believe that it's time to take a new approach on Canada's future. I joined Tom Mulcair in the NDP because I believe in a Canada where no one is left behind. More and more Canadians are working harder than ever and still struggling to get by. The New Democrats have a strong, substantive, and sustainable plan to undo the damage done by the previous governments. With concrete and fully costed platform items such as $15 a day childcare, affordable health care including prescription drugs, and a plan to kickstart the economy, I believe that the NDP has the best plan to help Canadians today and in the future. Time and time again, I hear people in Ajax tell me about the high cost of childcare, the pollution at the waterfront, and the infrastructure challenges faced by our town. I will work to bring these issues to Ottawa, and I believe that the NDP plans for affordable daycare, a national water strategy, and stable and predictable transfer funding to municipalities will set Canadian families up for success. I, like many young people today, personally know what it's like to face the challenges of precarious work, unreliable transit, and unaffordable costs of living. That's why I believe it's time to kickstart the economy by creating jobs and investing in infrastructure. This October, we have a historical chance to elect a strong NDP government to deliver our commitments to sustainability, accountability, and affordability. Ajax is ready for change, and I am proud to represent that change with Tom Mulcair in the New Democratic Party.
Hi, I'm Jeff Hill, federal representative for the Green Party in Ajax. The reason I chose to run for Ajax, this being my first foray into politics, by the way, was pretty much driven by my emotions and my heart, to be quite honest. I have a very vested interest in the environment and Aboriginals, as well as taking care of our seniors and our youth. So, to sum it up in one word, equality. I first mentioned the environment. That's what most people realize the Green Party is about, and that is not something to take for granted. There are things that need to be addressed and need to be addressed immediately, but as far as the other main issues that the parties are all clamoring to get attention would obviously be the economy. The Green Party has a plan to ease the burden on families by instituting less tuition and then eventually no tuition for students, which would trickle down to their parents, and they would have a much affordable way of living along with the minimum $15 an hour minimum wage. So in concert together, I believe that that would make a lot of families rise out of poverty in not just Ajax, but Durham region. But more specific to Ajax, like every urban center, we need to really focus on improving the infrastructure for transit. We need to get people off the roads and traveling in less vehicles, less emissions. And to do that, we need to make the GO transit and the urban regional transits a lot more accessible and a lot easier and a lot more appealing to people. So not only that, the climate, it all ties together. The more people are on transit, more economy, more people using. So on October 19th, let's common sense, let's get one government working together. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mark Holland, your former Member of Parliament and Liberal candidate for the riding of Ajax. I've lived in our community my whole life, and whether or not as a Member of Parliament, as a councillor, or now as Executive Director for the Heart and Stroke Foundation of Ontario, you know that I fight for you. In this election, there's a lot of issues that are going to impact the direction of the country in a very major way. We're in a recession. Our economy is not growing. And here in Durham, we have gridlock. We can't afford to keep waiting. Our economy won't grow. We won't create jobs if we can't move goods, peoples, and services. It's not only a problem and frustration for us getting around, it is a huge problem in attracting businesses. As well, we want to lower your taxes. We're going to ask people who've been doing very well, who are earning more than $200,000 a year, to pay a little bit more so we can lower the taxes of people in the middle class. It's not only an issue of fairness, it's an issue of helping to grow our economy. Because you know that when you're in the middle class and you spend a dollar, that money you spend locally, and every dollar spent in the local economy is worth 7. People are struggling. They're finding it hard to make ends meet. We have a plan to get Canada growing again. You know, with me as your Member of Parliament fighting for you in Ottawa, that we can bring real change. On October the 19th, I ask for your support so I can return to Ottawa and continue fighting for our home community. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity to address you today. My name is Bob Kesic. The United Party represents all Canadians, no matter who they are or what their situation is. My intent is to attract supporters from all parties and from voters who have not participated in recent elections. The United Party of Canada has come into existence to bring all regions and all Canadians together. In the riding of Ajax, Chris Alexander is unable to provide you with the answers to questions. Mark Holland has had his opportunity at representing Ajax. We as Canadians require positive change. Canada has been in a recession for years. Household debt is at historical highs. We have to bring back good-paying jobs, jobs that Canadians deserve. Approximately 500,000 good-paying manufacturing jobs have been lost in Canada since 2005. These jobs must be restored. We have to kickstart the Canadian economy and bring it out of recession. We have to put more money back in the hands of Canadians. During this campaign, we have heard, "Time to let him go. He's just not ready, has no idea what he is doing." On October 19th, elect Bob Kesic. I know reality. I am ready. I know what to do, and will represent Ajax the way you deserve to be represented. Thank you for your support.
Hello, my name is Celina Chavannes, and I am your Liberal candidate for Whitby. Whether you have 8 years of experience or 18 years, if you are not able to affect change in your community, your experience means nothing. I have lived in Whitby for the past 9 years, and during this time, I have seen my property taxes rise almost 25%. Some of you have seen it go up, but even more. Now more than ever, Whitby needs federal leadership who can partner with our municipality to create a vision for our town, one which makes Whitby a leader, grows our local economy, and gets people back to work. Remember, over 50% of our residents have post-secondary education. We have the 407 and the 401 literally wrapping around our town, and we have exceptional educational institutions, healthcare facilities, and bold startups. By leveraging these assets and utilizing the Liberal Party's infrastructure investment and inviting industry to partner with organizations, Whitby can be marketed as a center of excellence in green and clean technology, a hub for information technology, or set the gold standard in healthcare. This will create jobs, get our young people working, and allow residents to live, work, and play in Whitby. Experience is more than just political longevity and leadership should be matched with tangible outcomes which others can measure and define you by. My business experience and leadership has earned me coveted business awards, 2 MBAs, and a successful company. I will work hard for this town because I believe that Whitby is not just a great place to be from, it is a great place to be. On October 19th, your vote for me will make this a reality. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Craig Cameron, and I'm the Green Party candidate for the riding of Whitby. One of the main reasons why I'm doing this is for my son, as I believe we have a responsibility to take action on climate change now. We cannot continue to pass this burden on to future generations. During this election campaign, you're going to hear much talk about the economy. Have a look at our fully costed Green Party platform online, and you will find, as I did, that we are not a one-issue party. Let's diversify the economy and invest in green technology. Let's take back some of the perverse subsidies that we provide the oil and gas sector. Let's think value added before we give away our natural resources. After all, this is our economy, and we should have a say in how it can benefit all of us, not just a chosen few. We have tried reducing corporate tax rates in the hopes that they would reinvest this money in research and development and create jobs, but this has not happened. It's time for us to reinvest this dead money in a Canadian Sustainable Generations Fund. From this, we can use green technology commercialization grants to provide businesses with incentives to take advantage of new opportunities and create jobs locally. It is time for a federal government that takes action on a national housing strategy that supports the Canada Health Act, that implements a pharmacare program, that guarantees a livable income, and also looks after our seniors, respects our veterans, does not leave a huge educational debt on the backs of our young people, and honors our Indigenous peoples and their right to self-government. The words I'm speaking today are mine, and they're based on conversations with constituents. Help us build a Canada that works together. Thank you.
I'm Ryan Kelly, your Whitby NDP candidate. Each election, the majority of people in Whitby vote for someone other than the Conservatives. Time and time again, this results in most of us remaining without representation in Ottawa. An NDP government is committed to proportional representation, ensuring you receive representation for the vote you cast. In Canada, we're seeing an increase in the number of people that can't make ends meet. More and more seniors are living in poverty. Access to affordable and stable childcare is increasingly elusive and still one of the greatest barriers for women entering the workforce. The people of Whitby and all Canadians deserve better. And that's why we're here as New Democrats. We dare to bring about change. As a nation, our government has turned its back on our shared values, our values of tolerance, compassion, pride in our differences, respect for democracy, and cooperation. These values are shared by all Canadians. So then, let's bring those values back to Ottawa. The NDP is committed to introducing an affordable childcare plan, a national housing strategy, and a national pharmacare plan, all of which are proven strategies to alleviate poverty and will provide the people of Whitby with the positive change we deserve. Friends, I'm ready to bring change to Whitby and fight for us in Ottawa. We're one election away from a government that values the pursuit of peace, stewardship of the environment, care for the needy, and personal integrity. Ladies and gentlemen, we are one election away from electing a government that is committed to doing this while balancing the budget instead of continuing to add to our national debt. On October 19th, a vote for Ryan Kelly, Tom Mulcair, and the NDP will provide you accessible and transparent government and ensure your voice is heard in Ottawa.
Hi, my name is John O'Connor, and I'm your independent candidate in the Whitby riding in the upcoming federal election. My goal is to improve democracy. I specifically chose to be an independent because I believe that voters should have a candidate that represents them, not what some political party wants. People are frustrated with politics. They're frustrated that parties never ever really deliver on the promises that they make. See, as an independent, I have no such pressure to toe any party line. My offering is simple. I have developed an online platform where I can consult directly with the constituency on all issues. No longer do we just vote once every 4 years and good luck. Now I can come back on every single issue. My commitment is to vote the exact findings of that consultation, because that's democracy. We live in the information age and we have the technology. Technology has changed almost every aspect of our life, and now we can change politics with that technology. I've lived in Whitby for more than 15 years. I work in the city. My kids go to school here. And as I've knocked on doors throughout the riding, I've met many people, and they're all ready for change, real change. And that's the option I give to you today. Connect with me as your choice for the future. Go to whitbyvote.ca.
Hello, I'm Pat Perkins, and I'm running for re-election as your Member of Parliament in the riding of Whitby. You may also remember me as the former mayor of the town of Whitby. Now, whether it's locally or nationally, the economy is my #1 priority. Our plan has already created 1.3 million net new jobs since the depths of the global financial crisis, while reducing your taxes to the lowest level in 50 years. Canada has led the G7 in growth since 2006, and our positive Conservative plan for the next 4 years will continue to create jobs, continue to lower taxes, and continue to keep our budget balanced. Ours is the only plan that will protect you and our economy. This election, the ballot question is quite simple. Which party is best suited to manage and protect the Canadian economy and jobs in the face of global economic turmoil? We know the other party's platform to raise your taxes and spend, spend, spend. Now, reckless spending is not the way to protect nor grow our economy. When choosing me as your representative, you can count on proven leadership that will make you and our economy top priority. So on October 19th, I'm asking for your vote to protect you and our economy with proven leadership. Thank you so very much.
Hello, bonjour. Voters of Oshawa, I've been honored to represent this great riding federally since 2004. Since that time, we have come a long way. I believe an MP's job is to bring your hard-earned tax dollars back to the riding. Beginning in 2006, when the Conservatives first formed government, Oshawa has received record levels of federal investment. Look around. This funding has transformed and enhanced our post-secondary institutions, expanded our highways, our port, our airport, our rail systems. Home values are appreciating, and median income has risen 16% from 2004 to 2013. Oshawa is transforming before our eyes, and the future looks bright. What Oshawa needs is a continuation of the strong economic leadership of the Conservatives who successfully guided Canada through the global economic crisis of 2008 better than any other G7 nation. We do not need reckless new spending which would erode our federal surplus and create needless deficits. Oshawa families need a continuation of the Conservative low tax policies which have helped the average Oshawa family of 4 save around $6,600 per year. You have a choice between Conservatives' competitive low tax policies that help our economy grow or non-competitive policies which threaten our jobs. Oshawa needs clear, decisive, and principled leadership on the world stage that reflects true Canadian values and respects our history. In 2004, Oshawa chose Conservative leadership. We have come a long way since then, but I truly believe the best is yet to come. On October 19th, I humbly ask Oshawa residents to continue on the journey together by voting for me, Colin, Carrie, your Conservative candidate. Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
My name is Mary Fowler, and I am the NDP candidate here in Oshawa. It's my first time running for political office, and I'm running because, like many of you, I'm ready for change in our community. I'm a French immersion educator here in Durham region, and over the last decade, I've seen the income inequality in our classrooms grow. We've seen good-paying jobs leave Oshawa only to be replaced with part-time and precarious work. And we've seen our youth unemployment rate skyrocket to almost 20%, which is double the national average. It's clear to me, and it's clear to the people that I've been speaking to, that Stephen Harper's plan for Oshawa just isn't working. Through my work here, either as an educator or with the different environmental, labor, and youth organizations that I'm part of, I've seen a lot of people who are feeling very passionately and optimistically about the future of Oshawa. I share in that passion and optimism. I think that for too many years we've had representation that has failed to take the needs of our great city to Ottawa. Oshawa deserves better. We deserve to have a strong, progressive, new voice that can speak our needs in Ottawa, and I want to be that voice. In the last federal election here in Oshawa, the NDP got 37% of the vote. We know that with a handful more votes, we can make truly progressive change happen for our great city. I'm excited for what the future has to bring for Oshawa, and I'm excited to represent the very hardworking people of our community. I ask for your vote on October the 19th so that we can build Oshawa's bright future together. Thank you.
Hello, I'm David Gershuny, and I'm the candidate for the Marxist-Leninist Party of Canada in the Oshawa riding. The MLPC stands for empowering the people to control their own lives. Our party considers that the most valuable asset is an informed working class that fights for its own interests. Keeping the Liberals and Conservatives out on October 19th would be an important first step for working people to occupy the space for change with their own demands, their own agenda for solving the problems we face together. These parties have imposed and continue to impose austerity programs that result in massive job losses, billions of dollars stolen from the public purse, cuts to social programs, and other needed services. We need a new direction for the economy in Canada. Working people have to be in command of the situation if things are going to change for the better. We will work with anyone who is actively engaged in discussing how to sort out the crucial problems that face us today on a nonpartisan basis. Anyone actively engaged in defending their own rights and the rights of all. It is crucial to end people's marginalization from decision-making. We need an anti-war government, an end to Canada's participation in wars and occupations, and aggressive military alliances. Canadians will provide security for themselves when they defend the rights of all, when they can make sure these rights are provided with a guarantee. I invite everyone to be part of this important discussion by reading our publication Renewal Update on our website, mlpc.ca. Thank you very much.
Oshawa has been my home all of my life. My wife Rosemary and I are proud to raise our beautiful daughters right here in the same hometown as their parents and grandparents. Oshawa is a great place to live, raise a family, and call home. That's why Oshawa will always be our family's home. And that's why Oshawa has been so important to me. After graduating from York University, I was elected to represent you on regional and city council. For more than a decade, I had the privilege of representing you on council in various roles and official capacities, including that of the youngest ever deputy mayor. Council, I actively championed job-creating developments and vital infrastructure renewal throughout our community, created an accessible regional public transit system, a modernized arts and community recreation system, protected public services, and fostered the expansion of post-secondary institutions in Oshawa. I know that all generations across our city today benefit from this very positive vision. The positive vision for our city is shared by the Liberal Party. Liberals believe that every Canadian has a right to quality health care, respectable pensions, and affordable housing. As your new MP, I will fight to make sure that part of the $20 billion pledge for social infrastructure is invested right here in Oshawa. Having lived in Oshawa my whole life, I've witnessed firsthand the pain and frustration our community feels each time the auto industry bleeds jobs, and I think it's about time someone stands up to stem that tide. The Liberal government will invest hundreds of millions of dollars in new training programs to put Canada and Oshawa back to work. I will speak up for Oshawa and for your concerns. I will be Oshawa's voice in Ottawa, not Ottawa's voice to Oshawa. When Parliament is not in session, I will be there with you in Oshawa. Speaking with you, that's because I believe Oshawa is not a pit stop on the way to Ottawa. Our community deserves a full-time MP with a proven track record of working hard to achieve positive results. Oshawa deserves someone who understands the city, its people, and its issues, not another yes MP. Oshawa needs a strong, proven, progressive new MP, because better is always possible. When Oshawa does well, so does Canada. On October 19th, vote for real change, vote for Tito-Dante Marimpietri. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Stacey Leadbetter. I'm the Green Party of Canada candidate for the riding of Durham. Over the past several weeks, you've been hearing many plans, promises, and propositions. In that regard, I could sit here and tell you all about the Green Party's costed plan to eliminate poverty in Canada, our plan to take care of our seniors, to provide the help and care our veterans need, to relieve our youth of the burden of crippling student loans, institute a national pharmacare plan, and help municipalities deal with the effects of climate change. However, I want to talk to you about Canada and the kind of Canada we have and the kind of Canada we want. Over the past decade, our country has become a somewhat harsher place. We don't seem to interact with one another as we once did. We don't seem to care about one another as we once did. We are distrustful and suspicious of our neighbors. Fear has become the go-to reaction. Internationally, our reputation as peacekeepers and problem solvers has disintegrated. We have not kept our promises, and we have not endeavored to help those in desperate need. We are not what we once were. I'm not advocating that we return to some mythical time when all was well. We need to move forward, not backwards. But we need to move forward together. We are stronger, better when we stand as one community, one country, without divisions based on class, religion, or language. We are greater than the sum of our parts. We can make the changes we need to make. It starts with each and every one of us making an effort to be more open-minded, kinder, and compassionate. On October 9th, I'm asking you to make a choice, a bold choice, for a Canada that is respectful, kind, compassionate, and lends a hand rather than raises one. We have so much to offer, so much we can do. I'm asking you to vote for me, Stacey Leadbetter, so that we can start building a Canada that works together. Thank you.
Hello. I'm ERIN O'Toole, your Conservative candidate in the riding of Durham. I was elected as your Member of Parliament almost 3 years ago to be a strong voice in Ottawa. I ran to be accountable, accessible, and professional as your representative. And in that time, I've worked closely with civic groups, job creators, and municipal councils to bring jobs, opportunities, and infrastructure here to Durham. I want to continue to be a strong voice, listening and working for you. I served in the military after growing up here, so the Prime Minister also gave me the honor of serving our veterans as Veterans Affairs Minister, serving those Canadians who have served us. I'm very proud of the Conservative government's track record on the economy. In the years since the global recession, Canada has led the G7 in job creation and in economic performance. We are in an oasis of stability in tough global times. Only the federal government has a balanced budget and has been lowering the tax burden. At a time where property taxes are going up, provincial taxes, electricity costs are going up, we've been lowering your taxes. For seniors on fixed income, we brought in pension income splitting and accessibility tax credits. And for families with young children, we brought in the universal childcare benefit, the family tax cut, and tax credits to help with the cost of sports and music for your children. We want to continue to focus on jobs here in Durham and keeping taxes low through these challenging economic times. We've also been focused on safe communities, keeping violent offenders out of our communities, and combating terrorism, both here in Canada and abroad. We're fortunate to live in Canada, the best country in the world, and in Durham we have remarkable opportunity to raise our families in great communities. On October 19th, I ask for your support to be your MP. Thank you for your support.
Hi, I'm Derek Spence, and I'm your NDP candidate for the Durham riding. I've lived in Durham region my whole life, growing up in Oshawa and eventually moving to Clarington to my farm. I live, work, and raise my family in this community, so I know what's important to its residents. I am president of my union with over 10 years' experience representing workers. Thomas Mulcair and the NDP will work hard to make life better for families. Our plan will balance the budget, create jobs, and stimulate the economy, while improving health care and reducing child poverty. We will create or maintain 1 million affordable, accessible daycare spaces across the country and move the OAS eligibility back to age 65 where it belongs. On October 19th, vote Derek Spence in Durham and remember the NDP slogan, healthcare, childcare, Mulcair. Thank you.
My name is CORINNA Trail and I'm the local councillor for Ward 3 in the municipality of Clarington and the Durham Federal Liberal candidate. I was born and raised here and I'm the only candidate with municipal experience. I know the people and I know the issues. Having put myself through law school, I have opened my own practice here locally and I continue to play an active role in the community. I am known as a councillor who can get things done. I am running federally because Durham deserves better. Under Harper, we have seen 8 consecutive deficits and the worst record of economic growth since the Great Depression. Harper's plan has failed. While middle-class families are struggling to make ends meet, Harper continues to give benefits to the wealthiest few. Mulcair irresponsibly supports Harper's plan and has no answers on the economy and will cut billions in public investments. After a decade of Harper, only the Liberals are offering a new plan for new leadership to bring real change to Durham. We will create jobs with the single biggest investment in infrastructure in Canadian history of almost $60 billion over the next 10 years. We're the only party to make transit a priority, and I will do everything possible as Durham Member of Parliament in a Liberal government to bring the GO train to Bowmanville. We will take a new approach with respect to agriculture. As the second largest industry in Durham, we will begin a better process of consultation and seeking input from farmers. The best policies for farmers are those designed by farmers, and the approach of Harper of secret negotiation and unilateral decision-making will end. We will also grow the middle class by providing a middle-class tax cut, and we will help families with the high cost of living by providing a new tax-free monthly child benefit under which 9 out of 10 families will see more money. Please visit my website at corinnatrail.ca for more information or stop by our campaign office in downtown Bowmanville. I am the only candidate for the only party who can bring real change for Durham residents, and I ask for your support on October 19th. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Russ Christensen. I'm running for the New Democratic Party in Northumberland-Peterborough South. This is actually the 5th time I've run in a federal election. The riding used to be called Northumberland-Quinte West. Now it's Northumberland-Peterborough South. So check with Elections Canada to make sure that you're in this riding and that you're eligible to vote. That's very important. I live on a reforested farm just north of Campbellford, and Heidi, my wife, and I raised our 2 children there. They're both at Queen's University now. I work as a small business consultant. I'm a startup specialist, so I help people start small businesses. That's one of the things that the NDP is really focused on in this election. How to create jobs and economic opportunities for people in Northumberland-Peterborough South. Small businesses are the job creators. 80% of new jobs are created through small businesses. And we'll cut the tax rate from 11% to 9% for small businesses, spurring on innovation and investment in job creation in that sector. The other thing that you need to know in this rural riding, and we have lots of small family farms in this riding, we want to keep those farms vibrant and resilient. We fully support supply management, so the dairy sector, poultry and eggs, we want to make sure that those small family farms that are viable because of supply management maintain that viability, and we can move on to future generations maintaining those farms for the future. We need to make sure that that supply management system is protected from free trade agreements such as the TPP, which Mr. Trudeau supported without even reading it. Mr. Harper likes to sign those agreements in secret. We want to have an open government. Please vote Russ Christensen on October 19th. It's time for change.
Hi, my name is Adam Moulton. I'm the federal Conservative candidate for Northumberland-Peterborough South, and I'm just here today to speak to you a little bit about why it is that I'm running to be your next Member of Parliament. And, you know, I'm running because I'm going to get things done. Our government has shown time and time again a track record of investing in infrastructure, of investing in small business, but the job still needs to get done. We've seen investments in the Port Hope Area Initiative all the way to the Murray Canal Bridge to ensure that that was a two-lane bridge. But at the end of the day, the concrete still needs to be poured and the rebar still needs to be purchased. And we need to make sure, most importantly, that these projects not only finish on time, but on budget. And that's what we need to do moving forward. Our government has been committed since taking office to investing in our small business owners, and all while lowering their tax burden. This is something that's important because our opposition parties, we have one party that's committed to raising taxes on large business, and the other party that simply does not respect the hard work that our small business owners put in. You know, when I look at small business owners, I see people that have poured their life savings into their business, that have sacrificed family time to be able to make it happen. And we need to continue to support that because it's business owners that create jobs, not government. In addition to this, our government has also been committed to making sure that we're lowering the tax burden of hardworking Canadians. Our government understands that at the end of the day, nobody knows how to spend your money better than you do. And that's what we're committed. We're committed to putting money back into your pockets. We've done it 160 times since taking power, and we are going to continue to lower your tax burden as often as we can. We've also taken a very strong stance on international matters, making sure that we have a strong presence. Canada has a role to play in our international community, ranging from humanitarian aid to military action overseas. And we're the only party that has committed to making sure that we are going to keep Canadians safe and protect our values of democracy and freedom and human rights, both at home and abroad. So I would ask for your vote on October 19th for myself, Adam Moulton, and the Conservative Party of Canada. Thank you very much for having me.